Hello and welcome back to FBLT, Facebook Live Thursdays at Swift Automotive. As we've been talking this whole month, we're almost down to the end of the month. We got 1 month left, or 1 week left to the end of the month, and you need to get in here and get your oil changed. We're going to talk about that today. But first, I'd like to talk about some exciting news. We've been nominated for Denver's A-List. So on this video on Facebook, there'll be a link. If you can click that, go on, vote for us. We'd really appreciate that. We'd love to see where that goes for us. We're going to talk about oil changes today. One of the key things, I know a lot of people do their own oil changes, but we like to get you in here at least 3-4 times a year to get inspections. We do full inspections. This is our inspection sheet. Whoops. It's a 2-page sheet that we go through every time your car comes in the door. It does not cost you a dime. So we go through this to make sure everything's in good shape, and we're going to talk a little bit about what that means. Come on out and let's look at some stuff, and we'll go from there. Come over here. So I want to show you first, we're going to talk about oil. Engine oil breaks down once you start to use it. So after it's been in there for quite a while, typically 3,000 to 5,000 miles, depending on what type of oil you use, it begins to break down. And what happens is you get dirty oil. So this is clean oil that has not been put in an engine, and this is what we just took out of this vehicle that we're changing an oil on. As you can see, it's all black and starts to carry sludge. If you do not get that sludge out of there or get the oil out of there, it builds up, starts to stick to the motor. Over here I've got a new motor that we're building. But I want to show you what that looks like when it's clean. This is a nice clean motor. Of course, it's brand new, and it's how your vehicle starts out when it's brand new. As it starts to run and collect sludge over the years, this is a motor we just finished yesterday, replacing for a gentleman. As you can see, this one's not actually too bad, but this is what begins to happen. All this sludge builds up and starts to gum up rings, gum up things that don't make your engine work properly. So this is why we're talking about engine oil. If you do your own engine oil and you like to change your own oil, that's great, but there's a couple tips I wanted to throw at you. Never change your oil cold. In other words, run your engine, get it as warm as possible. As I was showing you on that oil, it gets thick and heavy and sludgy, and right now the temperatures are in the teens or 0. If you're trying to change your oil and it's cold, you're only going to get a portion of that oil out. The rest is sticking to the engine. So you definitely want a warm engine when you change your oil. When we do inspections, Gary's over here doing inspections, checking things. We check lights, we check wipers, we check your tires. Speaking of tires, when you're looking at your tires, this is what you see. You can see basically the edge of your tire. You can't tell what's really going on. This is a brand new tire, full of tread. This is one that we just had the other day. This is what people saw on the outside, but this is what was going on the inside, completely all the way down to the cords. This is why it's important to have someone check your stuff. For one, you're not going to be able to see that very good if you're doing this on the ground. Perfect example, car in the air. When we have these in the air and we're checking them, we can see all of the tread. We can see everything underneath. We're looking for leaks. We're looking for anything that's going on that you can't see just being on the ground, checking your car or changing your oil in your driveway. So the key is to make sure all those things are good. Tire pressure. Especially with the weather we have, temperatures, tire pressures change all the time. So you're constantly dropping. So you always want to make sure you're watching that. Fluid levels, always make sure your fluid levels are full. If not, that's why we want you to come in here. If you're coming in here 3-4 times a year for an oil change, these inspections happen every time, and we're checking the car thoroughly to make sure there's no new issues and to make sure you don't have any problems. Appreciate you joining me again for this Thursday. Again, we've been nominated for Denver's A-List, so please go to the link that we have on our Facebook page with this video and vote for us. We'd love to see you, and we'll see you next week. Talk to you soon.